I stuck my tongue out, you couldn't see it. Yeah. Oh, hablo, every trouble. Yeah. Hi. Good morning. Hello. Hi. Hi. My favorite thing is when she says Frank. It is a really good word. A big word that giving cow for her months. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Money for big pee-pee habble.
Hi.
That's me.
I love when Rebby says it's rompin time and romps all over the place. It's my favorite part.
I like that part too. Oh yeah, it's romping time. Rump. Thank you, Suffer. Hi, everybody. Hello. Was your bowl of avocado good? Yes, it was very good. Yeah. It was like my first meal in like 24 hours. I ate breakfast yesterday, and then I didn't eat for the rest of the day. I just wasn't hungry. I don't know. It was a pretty light meal at the beginning of the day too. So I don't know why I wasn't hungry for the rest of the day, but oh well. Yeah. Hi, hello. I'm a little bit low energy today. I hope that's okay. I did a lot of yapping yesterday. Between my member stream, which kind of accidentally went on for 5 hours, and then an interview I had as well. I did a lot of yapping yesterday. We're yapping today. Yeah, today's a yap day. We're yapping. We're yapping. Yeah, crazy frog lady. What kind of trouble are we getting into today? The kind of trouble that involves sitting here and talking. Yeah. I was wondering if you'd be all yapped out a little bit. Today's stream might not be super long. But I think I got some good yap energy in me today. Honestly though, I wish I was one of those VTubers who could just like yap for a really long time. Like day after day after day. I feel like I can yap for a long time if I have like a video game. Cause there's like periods where you don't always need to say a lot. Or you can like stop and watch a cutscene or something, you know? You know. But I don't know. Whenever it comes to like dedicated yap streams, I don't really, I don't know. I can maybe do them for like 3 or 4 hours max. I don't know how I went for 5 hours. That's longer than I normally do. Yeah. Mickey Mouse, thank you for the £2 super. I am poor and fat Russian want to marry. I'm sorry, I can't marry you. I'm already betrothed to another. You'll have to talk to your mom about it. She got to me first. Sorry, bro. What a standing desk for powerful yaps. Would a standing desk make that big of a difference? Do you think? I don't know. I think it's just like when I'm yapping, it's more like concentrated yapping. You know? So like we don't have more of those like pauses and stuff to talk about something else. It's just more in a shorter period of time. That's my theory. Cause otherwise I don't know. Cause I feel like I yap a lot of the time. But anyway. Did you guys see the news? The news. It's everywhere. It's on my Twitter, it's on my YouTube, it's on my Discord. Have you seen the news? Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the answer. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I guess this is my first time being able to like talk about it publicly on stream. I did talk about it a little bit in my member stream. Yeah, I guess I talked about it a little bit there. But as far as like a public stream, so first time getting to yap about it. Yeah. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? The thing that you know about. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing a fundraiser on Saturday. Yeah.
A lot of coins.
Very surprisingly.
Since when do you yap? This is a complete surprise to me.
Got interrupted by this alert. No, I'm just kidding. Wow, really? A big surprise? Almost like another big surprise that happened recently. Yeah, thank you, Dubs. Thank you. Yeah, I very surprisingly got the opportunity to buy my old IP from my previous agency back. So we have a fundraiser on Saturday in a few days to try and raise some money for it. I've been super nervous and super excited, but also super nervous. I have not done a fundraiser in a very, 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 very long time, and I have never done one for like such a big thing, I guess. So I'm a little bit nervous, and I hope everything will go well. Yeah, but I've had so much support. There's been so much support on Twitter, on YouTube, in my Discord, like pretty much everywhere. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been helping support it so far. It really means a lot to me, and honestly caught me by surprise. I figured it would maybe get a little big when it comes to like agencies and IPs. Those topics tend to be really hyped up, but I wasn't expecting the response to be quite that strong. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So Rebby, when you get Cheeto back, what do you plan on doing with her? Or will you be using her again sometimes? I would love to see Cheeto again. I really missed her. Yeah, I've laid out my entire plan in a few different places. On YouTube, on Twitter. But I'll like sum it up. Is that if we get the LP back, my plan is to move the majority of my activities over to that account, over to that character, that channel. And Rebby will be like kind of on the side, I suppose. I want to still use her sometimes. So like, yeah. I have to find my words, man. Today is such an easy day. Wow, out of context, Chris, thank you for the $10 super. Can't wait for Cheeto and Rebby collab. And Tanner. Tanner can take a back seat. This is Cheeto and Rebby time. But yeah, the majority of my activities have been moved over to Cheeto. And I don't really know what to say regarding Rebby. Like, I don't think a graduation is really the right word, because I do want to use her sometimes still. Like, it's not like a total, like, goodbye or anything. I don't know. This has been such a hard decision to make. I've had like different periods of different waves of emotions about this whole thing. I've had periods where I only wanted to be Rebby, like closer to like the closure and stuff of the agency, and then I started to like miss Cheeto after a while, and then I felt like really sad that I thought I missed my chance to like get her. And then the chance to get her was here, but then I realized, like, when I realized what the best thing to do was, which is moving all my activities over there, if we're gonna, raise all this money, I think it makes sense to use her a lot. Then I felt a little bit sad about having to put Rebby on the back burner. Because I do love Rebby a lot too, but, I put a lot of thought into this, so I think I'm making the right decision here. I feel pretty confident. I've been really trying my best to make sure I make the right decision. So I hope that I hope I can make at least most people happy. I know not everyone will be happy with the move over and with getting a new model and stuff for Cheeto. I put a lot of thought into it, and I do think I'm making the best decision for me and my community. Yeah. That whole situation seemed like a mess, so it's understandable you want to distance yourself, but this is a cool opportunity. Yeah! No, honestly, yeah. Man, I feel sad because I was able to lay everything out so nice and cleanly in my member stream yesterday. And I was like, well, I want to make sure I talk about it publicly too, because I don't want this information to just be locked behind like a member stream. But now that I have a chance to talk about it, my brain is like, braining today. I don't know about that. But yeah, yeah, I do feel a little bit bad that my acquisition of the IP had to be messier and a bit more roundabout than some people's acquisition closer to like the closure of the agency. It was a really hard decision. Even back then, I was trying my best to make the right decision for myself. I put a lot of thought into it and made what I thought was the right decision at the time. Because when the closure happened, it put a lot of stress on all of us. And I in particular don't really do super well with a lot of stress and stuff. It really came out of nowhere. I remember when I started Rebby, she was started as like a side thing that I wanted to do alongside Cheeto. Like that was my plan. Like, I'm going to focus my efforts still on Cheeto. Like, I wasn't gonna go anywhere. The agency was doing great. We were all happy. I just decided, you know what? It would maybe be a good idea, or maybe a fun idea, to have like a small indie space on the side where I could kind of just, do whatever I want. Have like a kind of more chill space away from my job. And that's when I came up with Rebby, and I was like, yeah, and like maybe some of my fans like might find it, and they can like tune into a stream every now and then. And I had my throne goal up for the model, and I was thinking like, this is probably gonna be slowly funded over like several months. And I was okay with that. Like, it was just a super chill, casual plan. And then literally the next day is when we all got the news that the company might be closing. It was not certain for a while because we were trying to figure stuff out. And I probably can't talk too in depth about all of that. But it came as a massive surprise. And I was just sitting here like, the day after I decided to have like my little side account. I feel like it kind of complicated things more. I feel like if I hadn't started up the Rebby stuff, I probably would have just stuck with Cheeto. But it kind of got complicated pretty fast. Also, Chris, I don't mean to ignore your super. Thank you for the $5 super. I understand you're a dinosaur stuck in a frog body. I guess you could say that. I got plopped into a new one. Yeah. But I remember, like, during that time, there were a lot of questions spiraling through my mind. I was really worried that I might lose my job over something that was out of my control. And on top of it, I was really stressed because, like, I know a lot of the fans, like, they noticed that there was something going on because a lot of our streams that day got canceled. Like, out of nowhere, including, like, the Christmas event. We were gonna do a Christmas event because this was near Christmas time. And that also got canceled. So it kind of signaled to everybody that something was going on. And people wanted answers, but we couldn't give answers for a while. And I was, like, so, like, conflicted at the time because I wanted to help reassure my fans, but I also wasn't allowed to really say anything. And even with stuff on like the indie account that I had made, I wasn't allowed to say that I had another account, and like there was like a throne and stuff there. So like my fans found the indie account where Rebby's stuff was and just kind of started funding for the new model. I think some people thought that I knew about the closure in advance and Rebby was my exit plan. But that's not the case. I had no idea at all until like the next day afterwards. I know the timing is crazy, but I'm being completely straight with you that is what the timeline was. And I was just sitting here like, I don't know what I can say. I don't know what I can't say. I don't know if I can address like stuff getting funded on the other account. And for a while, we were ultimately like able to tell people where we were going, but that was kind of like a surprise near the end. So for a while, we actually did not know. I was expecting a more traditional graduation. I'll be totally honest. Like if things went under, that's how I was expecting it to go. Hi, guys! Thank you for the 50 super! Thank you! Money for the kicked up bag to obtain her Dino body suit back. Oh, thank you! I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I see Ozzy, thank you for being terrible for 4 months. Boopa! No, I'm a boopa you! The boopa boop! It was very bad, so it's good timing depending on how you look at it. Yeah, like I wasn't sure at the time whether to say it was good or bad, because on one hand I felt like, well, I guess this is good timing that I have this extra account in case things go poorly? I don't know. Especially in the very, very, very beginning, when none of the details are figured out yet. So I like, we were pitched the idea of like, you know, I don't know if pitched is the right word. It got mentioned pretty early on that like if things went south, we might be able to like buy our IPs and stuff. But there was like maybe a few days at the very, very, very beginning where we had no idea like what was happening. So I was sitting here expecting it to be like a full graduation, and I remember I was trying to hint to my fans where my other account was without being too on the nose that I would like get in trouble, just because like I wanted to make sure that like not only can fans find me, because I know you know how sad it is when somebody like graduates and you just can't find where they are. It's only like years later you find where they are. Like that's happened to me before too. I didn't want my fans to go through that, and I also wanted to make sure that I would be okay too if that happened. So like, yeah, it was incredibly stressful. And at the time I was also terrified that I might like misstep and say something that I wasn't supposed to, which put further stress on me. So like all of the stress around that time, kind of made me start to associate all my work in Pixelink and Cheeto, herself with like the stress and stuff, and Rebby kind of became like my safe haven space away from all the stress. Whenever I could tune into my indie accounts, like it felt quieter, it felt more peaceful, it felt like it was just away from everything. And I started to spend less and less time on my like Pixel accounts just because of that, you know. And at the time I started to really feel like, okay, yeah, like if we're gonna leave, like if I'm gonna leave, if that's what ends up happening, then I think the right move for me is that I wanted to start fresh. I wanted to go with the Rebby account, and also, you know, it would also be a lot cheaper. It made sense financially at the time too, because I always knew I wanted a more petite model. That was something that I felt, honestly, even from the very beginning. From the very, very beginning, before even debut, I wanted something more petite. It just wasn't something that we were able to get. I had a lot of input into my Cheeto model, but just, you know, can't get everything that you ask for. That's just how it goes very commonly. Very, very happy for what I was able to get, but that is something else that, like, if I could have had that, I would have been a lot happier. So I knew at the time, like, I would have wanted a new petite model if I were to get Cheeto. So then not only would that be, like, all of the money that we have to raise for the IP, but I also would have needed to raise money as well for, like, the new model. And maybe at the time I could have suggested just, like, not buying the old model and just funding for a new one. I think even I think Chiaki did that. I can't remember all the details. honestly, I feel like so much of that time, it's so clouded by stress. I don't know if I remember like all the details. I feel like it's kind of muddy in my mind when I think about it. But that idea absolutely did not cross my mind at all at any point. So yeah, maybe a little bit dumb. I didn't think of it, but like I was under a lot of stress. So you know, I was like talking with people about getting like the Rebby model put together. And it was far cheaper, far cheaper. So like it made sense in multiple ways for Rebby to be like the move at the time, and that's what I ended up going with. And then for like months after, I felt like I made the right decision. You know, like for the following couple of months after, you know, I got to debut, got monetization on the channel, we started building things. I felt secure in my decision. But I think it was like a few months after that, after we like really started things on this channel, is when I started to think a bit more about it again, because I had time away from all of the stress. I had time to process how I was feeling, and just I think that's really what I needed. I think what I needed was a space away from the stress where I could think about what I really needed to do, because I was way too stressed out at the time. And started to associate like Cheeto and all the pixel work with the stress too. I don't handle stress very well. But once I had a time away from all that and I had a clear head, that's when I started to think like, well, I really did like Cheeto. The design was really nice. And I think like a smaller lolly or Cheeto would also be like really cute. Like I started to like wonder, cause I've always been happy with Rebby. That's never changed at all. But I did start to wonder, like, if I made the right decision. And I remember I would, like, air those feelings out in my Discord sometimes with Robbos, just kind of asking what they thought, if they thought I made the right decision. And I got a lot of positive reassurance, and it helped me feel good for the time. But the question just kind of kept coming back in my mind every now and then. Sorry that I'm just kind of ranting, and I see all your messages, I'm just here kind of ranting. I got on a groove where I can talk about it. I don't want to lose my groove and go back to head empty. Yeah, so the question just kind of came back every now and then, like, did I make the right choice? And then I started to feel kind of sad, because I think I realized that if I wasn't so stressed at the time, I would have maybe gone for Cheeto. Especially realizing now that I could have just funded for a new model. Although I don't know how long the break period would have been if I had done it that way back then. Because I don't know if I could have gotten a new model in the works while I was still active. I might have had to wait until everything was like all said and done. And then we'd have to wait a few months for like a new model to be done. I don't know what that would have looked like really. Like, maybe it could have been easier than that? I don't know. I didn't ask about it because I didn't think about it at the time. So I can only guess what that would have looked like. But like for Rebby stuff, I was able to get it in production while I was still working at Pixel Link. So it really only took a couple of weeks after the Pixel graduation for me to get the Rebby stuff up and running. It wasn't too long of a period, but I think it would have been longer if I had done it that way back then. I don't know, but maybe that would have been the way to go, because like I know trying to get everything now is kind of messier, and it is more roundabout. It would have been simpler if I had gone for it back then. It was just really hard for me to see at the time that maybe that's what I wanted. And I do apologize for that. I didn't mean to make things like more complicated, you know? And yeah. But I started to feel more sad about it as time went on. And it got to a point where I was actually really depressed over it. Every time I saw anything about Cheeto at all, I would just feel like bittersweet. Like I'd feel like echoes of happiness from that time, but also just this big sadness that I felt like I missed my chance to go after this. And I felt stupid. I felt like I was like such a stupid head because I had the chance at the time, but I thought I was making the right decision. I tried really hard at the time. I thought about it so much and thought I was making the right decision. But it's kind of hard for me to think sometimes how I'll feel about something in the future, especially if there's a lot of negative feelings involved, because it kind of I'm a very emotional person. Sometimes, especially negative feelings can kind of cloud when my judgment at the time. It kind of feels like it takes over and stuff, you know? So,
thank you.
Yeah, I definitely felt like it was taking over at that time. I don't think I could think very clearly about it. So about maybe like a month ago. What time is it now? August 12th. I don't know why I have to think about this so hard. You can tell how empty my head is right now. Mother Chris, thank you for the $5 super. Was Cheeto talking to you? Telepathy to save her. Hey, Rebby, it's Cheeto. Save me. I need my lovely advice. Maybe it was something like that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of ranting. Isn't that the whole point? Robos? No, you're right. It is. I just feel bad when people are talking in chat and I'm just here trying to focus on like my train of thought so I don't lose it. But then I end up like not responding to anybody in chat for a couple minutes until I can finish my train of thought. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything out because I wanted to make sure I had like a chance to properly talk about everything in like a public space where everyone can hear it. So now that I have my train of thought, I'm just trying not to lose it. But yeah, I think it was about a month ago I started reaching out to my CEO to try to make contact and stuff about potentially purchasing everything. And I didn't think that I would be successful because if anyone is unaware, Pixelink closed because the CEO's health issues took a sudden turn for the worse near the end of the last year. So after the closure happened, none of us could get in contact for a while. So like I had very low hopes of actually getting an answer, but I wanted to try. So I sent some messages about like a month ago, and a few weeks went by, and I heard nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was thinking like, yeah, that's what I was expecting. And I just felt really sad.
Thank you.
But you know, I mean, I was happy at least like I was trying, but I felt so sad about it. It was like maybe I really did miss my one opportunity to get her. So what was I saying? Again, thank you for the $2 super. Can't foresee your future emotions, skill issue. Thank you. Maybe it is kind of a skill issue though. I don't know how easily other people handle that, you know. But I can say that I'm not very good at it. No point worrying about best. The weird things worked out well enough, and you had the chance to still snack and keep chill. That is true. I do feel a little bit bad though. Just like it could have been simpler. I really didn't mean for it to turn out that way. But yeah. So like a few weeks went by and I didn't hear anything, and then I did end up sending a follow-up message just to try to poke again. And I don't know if the answer I got is because I sent the follow-up message or maybe he would have seen it at that point anyway. But it was like, when was it? Let me look at this thing. It was, I think, last Sunday. Yeah, I think it was like a couple of days ago. Or maybe it was Saturday. It was either Saturday or Sunday. Very recently. I was like sitting on my bed, eating some breakfast, watching my phone, watching YouTube shorts on my phone, when like the message popped up. And it was like, oh hey, sorry, I think I missed this message. Yeah, we can talk about it if you want. And I was like, whoa! No, it was more like, ah! Like I was freaking out. Cause I didn't think that was gonna happen. And just out of nowhere, I got an answer. So I immediately messaged back and started setting up a meeting. Oh wait, no, this wasn't last Sunday. This was the Sunday before because I had a meeting last Wednesday. Okay, yeah, I was thinking like last Sunday feels too recent, but I think it was a Sunday. It was the 3rd. The 3rd is when I heard back. So I set up a meeting for the 6th, Wednesday the 6th, and we went over everything. And that's when I also made the decision, like in the phone call, to not take the old Cheeto model. Because I was sitting here expecting that we would.
Anything to help.
Mike, thank you for the 25 tippy. I appreciate it. Thank you. I have to like make a mental note of this money being sent in though. Although I don't know if I can like factor this money into like the progress bar for the fundraiser. I haven't had a fundraiser in a really long time. I don't really know the details about setting that up. So it might be a little better to wait till the fundraiser's going. I'm not sure, but I can try to make like a mental note of how much money was sent. Actually, here, I'll write it down. Right now, it's like $75 so far between the 50 super and that chippy. Okay, just have like a mental note. Okay. Yeah, I was on the call with him, and then when he was like looking through like information to set it up, I was like thinking like, wait a minute, I'm not even gonna use the Cheeto model. Well, at that point, like I plan to get a new one. What if I just don't buy the Cheeto model? And then I asked about that, and then he was like, oh yeah, we can do that. But I did want to buy like the design and stuff so I could still have like access to using like the outfit and like the hairstyle and stuff like that. I don't know if you can like put a specific hairstyle behind the IP or I don't know how those details work, but just in case. So instead I purchased the rights to that. And it brought the price down a good bit, which I was very, very happy. I managed to negotiate a little bit. I'm not very good at negotiating. So. Yeah. It was, yeah. I felt pretty smart. So yeah, instead of having to fund the old model, we instead just have to fund the rest of the IP and then the funds for the new model instead. I'm very, very happy that he was willing to do that with me, because yeah, it's kind of a waste of a few $1,000s to buy a model that I wasn't gonna use, so we're making it a bit easier doing it this way. Yeah. And then that's kind of where we are now. I started planning for it pretty last minute. So yeah, I immediately set to getting like the advertisement graphics made, which that person was very, very good to work with. Yeah. And yeah, it's pretty much where we are now. But yeah, I do feel a little bit bad though that like we raising the money now after like raising money for Rebby to like that was something that I felt bad about even before like way before I had this opportunity, because I was thinking of everything like that, you know, like my fans, you guys, Frabbles, you already give me so much all the time. You helped me fund for Rebby back when that was getting started. And you helped me with so many things, and you know I don't like asking for big sums of money. Heck, when my mic started dying and Frabbles were saying like, we'll help you fundraise for a new mic, I straight up said, no, you're not helping me, and bought the mic just out of my own pocket money because I didn't want to bother Frabbles with a big amount of money. I don't like it. Like Frabbles also had to convince me to put like the Switch 2 throne goal up because I didn't want to ask for help for that too. $500, that's a lot of money. Now we're fundraising for a much bigger amount. It feels kind of funny, but I knew a long time ago that if we did somehow get the... Well, actually, funnily enough, fundraising for Cheeto was actually also Frabbles' idea. Because I wasn't gonna ask. I knew a long time ago, like way before I got the chance, that like if I ever did get the chance, I probably would maybe only be able to do it if but maybe there's some other way I can afford it. And I had been open about it in my Discord. I had been open about, like, you know, I've kind of been trying to get into contact with my CEO about purchasing it, but I've had no luck so far. And Frabos were like, fundraise? Fundraise? And I was like, maybe. I mean, well, I don't know. I'd hate to, like, ask for that much money, but like, I was honest that I thought it might be the only way to do it, though. So, like, if Frabos were okay with it, maybe we could if we got the chance. And everyone there was really was like super ecstatic about it. Which I know, like, Discord Frabos don't speak for all Frabos. But like, it was a positive, like, go ahead. No also war. No war. Yeah, I really didn't want to ask for help with the fundraiser either, but I miraculously got this opportunity, and I really feel like this is the last chance. Like, I miraculously have a second chance here to get the IP. I think this is the last chance. And like, I do wish that this whole process could have been simpler and more straightforward, and I wish it wasn't involving, like, fundraising with the community, because it is a lot. It is a big ask. I'm well aware that it's a big ask, and it's not an ask that I wanted to make. But I also think that this is the only chance we have, and I'd rather try than to, like, not try and regret it later. I think if I just didn't try now, 3 to 5 months from now or whatever, I would look back and just be like, why did I do that? Because I spent months feeling like a dumb old idiot for not trying before. So I really wanted to make sure that I tried this time. So yeah, I do know there might be some Frabos who maybe don't agree with my choice to try to do this. Or maybe even people who are not Frabos, because there's been so many eyes on this situation from everyone sharing it around. I'm sure there's probably some people out there who are not part of the community but have their opinions on it. If there's anyone who doesn't agree with what I'm doing, just know, like, you don't have to donate if you don't want to. I am not expecting anything. I don't have expectations here. If we don't get it, I feel like with all the support we rallied, like, we have a good shot at it. But, like, let's say hypothetically we don't get it. I won't be, I might be sad for a little bit, but I won't be disappointed in Frabos. I won't feel like, oh, if only more people donated, we would have done it. I won't feel that way. And if anyone does not want to donate, that is totally okay. This is technically, like, you know, this isn't really something, it's like, it's not like a life or death situation, right? It's something that's important to me and would make me really happy, but it's not like somebody's dying or anything, you know? So, like, yeah, yeah. I appreciate all the support. I just wanted to be open about that as well, you know? And then there also might be Frabos who, like, maybe want to help donate, but they can't. If you are unable to, please do not give me money that you need for yourself. Please don't send any money that, like, you can't reasonably and safely, feasibly send. Because you should take care of yourself first. But if you do want to help, there's other ways you can help for free. You can share it around the post if you're on Twitter, or you can, like, comment on it more on YouTube. Or you could show up to just watch the stream if you're available that day. Like, there's a lot of non-monetary ways to help as well. So I just wanted to yeah, just reassure people, I guess. Yeah. If anyone has any questions, I did lay out my entire plan in a post on my YouTube, the YouTube post tab, as well as on Twitter. So a lot of it's laid out already. But I guess if anyone has any questions, if it's something I am able to answer, then I will answer. I feel like most questions I'll be able to answer. But I have gotten some questions relating to, like, the agency itself. And, like, if it's something like that, I might not necessarily be able to answer, but I'll try. Okay, sorry for the long, like, tangent about it. I think I across. I think I remember to say everything. Now I can re-chat again. Sorry, I just didn't want to get distracted. If you get it, will you continue to use the Frogger? Yes, but my activity will be a lot slower and quieter here. I can't put the same amount of energy into 2 different channels. So like one has to be the primary, one has to be the secondary. And if we're gonna put all this money into Cheeto, it makes more sense for Cheeto to be the one that we're using. But my initial idea I had was to stay as Rebby and have Cheeto be on the side. But then I thought about it some more, as well as like talked with some of my friends about the idea. And we kind of came to that like, nah, it makes way more sense to use Cheeto instead. And that's why it is the current plan to move the majority of activity over there. But I do still want to use Rebby. It's a little hard for me to say right now. Like how much that will be exactly, because that's far in the future. Right now, like it's at the very least a few months out, because I have to wait for the new model to be made before I can swap over. Oh, that's another thing. I do want to be very clear, that part of the plan is that I chose not to purchase the old model, and that some of the funds that is like included in the 8K we're raising, that is for a new model. The new model funds are not extra. It is included in that 8K. I know I just said that. I'm just trying to be extra clear about it. So after the fundraiser, Cheeto will not be debuting immediately, but I will immediately get the new model in the works. And then we will have a few months where we can finish up stuff as Rebby, because I did have some stuff in the works long before I got this chance to go for Cheeto. So I do have some stuff that I want to finish up as Rebby first, and we will do that and have like some final months with Rebby as like the primary account while we wait for the Cheeto model to be completed. I just want to make sure like everything is on the table. I did lay this out in my post detailing what the plan is, but I just want to be like super like clear about like that disclaimer, just so no one's caught off guard if they help me donate and then we reach the fundraiser goal and then Cheeto does not debut immediately and people are like, where is it? What the heck? I'm just trying to be really clear about it. Yeah. Logan, thank you for the $2 super. You will take our money and be happy about it. Just... I mean, it is very helpful and does make me happy, but you don't have to send me money. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself too, okay? Okay. Yeah, it will be a lot easier for me to keep track of donations for the fundraiser when we actually get the fundraiser link open. Closer to the date, I have had some people ask me if I could open the link early. I'm honestly not sure when the right time to open the link is, because I'm worried that it might get funded before the stream even starts, and that'd be kind of boring for the stream. So I don't know when I will get it open exactly. But it will be easier, I think, for me to keep track of funds. If you're donating for that, I would recommend just waiting until the fundraiser starts. Yeah. But any other donations you want to give, if you just want to hand me money like a normal daily super chat or whatever, you feel free. Yeah, I feel awkward whenever the topic of money comes up. I don't like anything that feels like it's asking for money. It's like, yeah. But Thomas, thank you for the 20 super. Always happy to help our favorite frog lady. You guys are too nice to me. You're too nice to me. You're too nice to me. I'm making thank you for the £2 super. I really like adult women that look like my mom. You're being kind of weird, man. I'm gonna ask you to keep your mom fetish to yourself. Thank you. Okay, let me see and make sure I'm not missing any questions here. Let's see. Question, is making a new Cheeto model really cheaper than purchasing the already existing one? I don't really understand the economics of that. Yes, because the old Cheeto model, I don't know if I'm allowed to give out the specific price. I will say it's not much cheaper, but it is cheaper because the old Cheeto model is from a bigger, popular, like well-known VTuber artist. And when you can get one of the big names to do your model, like, it is going to cost more because you're also kind of paying for the name. So that does come into play, you know. And it is also the cost of the model and the rig together as well. The rig has its own separate cost, which, like, for the IP sale, it's all counted as one thing. The model and the rig are both counted as, like, okay, here's the price for the model. But when it comes to, like, breaking down the money that goes into having a model made, you pay for the model art and all the toggles and expressions and everything. And then you also pay for the rig. And then, yeah, like, but between getting the name and then just, like, the cost of those things, it does come out to a little bit more expensive than just simply getting a new model. It will depend on who you pick. I have some people in mind who are more on the cheaper side, do great quality work for cheaper. So I expect that it will be, you know, as long as that, like, I don't know if prices have increased since the last time I've talked with them. That's possible that could have happened. But I think even if that is the case, the price will come out to be about the same as the old one. But, like, also with the model that makes me, like, happier personally. Cause I really wanted a more, like, petite model. Yeah. And then also, like, with some details I wasn't able to get, when I was in Pixel. And yeah, some stuff like that. Yeah. Why not fusing both together? Because me, Chip, Rompin. I have had some people ask, I think it was during my member stream, some people did ask me, why not use both models on one channel? And I think it would get really confusing if the channel is called, like, Cheeto Chompy channel, and there's clearly a Cheeto Chompy, but then very frequently this other model, like, randomly pops up. Like, a lot of you know who both of my models are, but then, like, let's say, like, new viewers, maybe people who don't know too well, I think it would get confusing really fast trying to swap between the two models like that. I do think if I wanted to have Rebby on as, like, a character in, like, maybe like a skit, like in a short or a funny video, that maybe wouldn't be too bad. But if it's frequently happening on stream, I do think it would be confusing. And it's better for brand consistency as well to just stick to, like, one. Will we see Cheeto on our old channel or a new one? I'm gonna do it on the old channel. I don't want to start a new one. Also, you know, like, the channel itself is also included in, like, the big purchase. So, we'll be raising the money for it. Also, might as well just go use the old channel. I found you from a collab with you as Cheeto videos for you. I like you ever since. I will donate what I can. Oh, thank you! I really appreciate that. Thank you. Any oil burns in chat. Now's your time to shine. Man, if somebody just donated like $8,000 right now. But I think if anyone actually did have the money, I would still ask for it to wait for the fundraiser, though. Even if the fundraiser ends up getting funded in, like, the first, I don't know, 10 minutes, like, even if it happens really fast, I would still like if it could at least happen at the stream, because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it got funded before the stream even starts. We go on and we're like, hey, everybody, it actually got funded 2 days ago before the stream even started. Yeah, Yeah, any thoughts on the idea of a stretch goal or maybe multiple ones? Seem like people are chomping at the bit to donate. It might be something worth considering if you want to, that is. I do have some ideas for stuff that might be good as stretch goals. I do have some in mind. I think I want to have some more time to really plan that part out. Before, like, giving too much information, but I do have ideas in mind. Yes. I'll say this though, Frobbles would help you purchase the original Cheeto model if that's what you desire. I appreciate that. I actually did have one Frobble ask during my member stream, like, about the idea of purchasing the old Cheeto model as a stretch goal. But I do want to say, I do think I don't know. I don't know if it's, like, the best idea. Because one, that's several $1,000s for something that I really honestly have not much interest in using. Like, I am sad at, like, having to get another, artist, because I do like being a part of the Pippa Owie family, you know, the Cheeto family. I do really want to stay a part of that, but there's a few reasons why I can't go with the, that artist. The biggest one being just that their commissions aren't even open right now. And then, you know, it's not really the style that I'm wanting to have, and I want to respect their style, so there's a few reasons. But like, yeah, purchasing the old model, it's technically something that we could do, but it would, like, again, would require a few extra thousand for something I'm not super interested in doing. And then also, I would have to get back into contact with my CEO to write up a new contract, because the current contract that I have one in my possession already, but the current one that I have, it covers everything that I agreed that I would be purchasing, which does not include the old model, because I chose not to get the old model. So I would need to, like, get back into contact and, like, get a whole new contract written up that includes the old model. And personally, I'm a little worried that I don't know if I'll get a response. I'll just be totally honest. Like, I wasn't expecting to get a response to begin with. I'm a bit worried about having to get another one. So, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for a few different reasons. I do have some other ideas for stretch goals though, like I mentioned. Yeah. Doing 2 models will be twice the work to grow the channels. Have you thought about this? What is your plan? Yeah, I have thought about that. And my plan, again, is just to move the majority of the activities over to the Cheeto channel. I cannot put that kind of effort into 2 different channels. I will burn myself out. I would have to spread myself very thin across both channels, and, like, hypothetically, if I were to, I would have to spread myself so thin across the 2 channels. Like, I would not be really active enough on either one to, like, really grow them, because you really want to be consistent. A big thing with YouTube channel growth is consistency. So, like, streaming like 4 to 5 days a week with some video uploads, very good. You might have some steady growth there, especially if you've, you know, like, got good thumbnails, or you got your niche figured out, some other details like that, you know, content stuff. But if I were to instead stream maybe like 2 times a week, 2 of them being, no, let's say 4 times a week, 2 being on Cheeto's channel and 2 being on Rebby's, because 4 streams a week is pretty, it's about what I put in anyway. Like, let's say that's what I was doing, then that would really slow the growth down for both channels, and it would be really detrimental. I do not think it's a good idea to put that kind of effort into both channels, and that is why I knew from the very beginning that I would need to pick one. And I think that if we're going to raise all that money, it makes more sense for Cheeto to be the one that is picked. Which was not an easy decision to come to, because I do really love Rebby. And I am very, very, very grateful to everyone who helped me put stuff for Rebby together. I got a lot of help from my friends and stuff, and I'm really, really grateful for that. But I do think that this is the best decision that we can make with this opportunity here. So that is what I will be doing. Yeah. And I know you can't go into detail about the prices, but I do know from what other people have said, it's not hard at all for a fully rigged model to be...
Thank you.
Is that 10,000 plus? That is very expensive. What the heck? Wait, is that... Oh god, I scrolled and now I don't see the message. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Is that meant to be 1,000 or is that 10,000? I'm just making very sure before my next answer here. Making sure there's no typos in that number there. I think I have only ever heard of one model being near 10,000. Well, actually, no, because when I was shopping around for model mamas, I actually did find someone who the art alone is 10,000. So it depends on who you get. It really depends on who you get. If you're getting someone who is very popular, you're kind of paying for the name. If you mean 1,000, then yes, it is very common for fully rigged models to be over 1K between the art and the rig. You do need to spend a good bit. But if it's 10,000, then that is no. It really depends on who you get, and then also like, do you have a lot of toggles? Did you pay for some add-ons? Did you pay for extra hairstyles? You know, did you get like a full base underneath the clothes? Like, there's different things that you can get. I assume you meant art for the model plus the rigging for the model equals more than 10K. Now that just depends on who you get. Because I can say for the Rebby model, I paid 2K. And 2K for like everything that I got here. I will say I did receive a bit of a discount due to the kind of emergency situation that was going on at the time, because this was during the pixel closure and we didn't know what was happening for a while. But even without the discount, it would have been 3K at most, which is very, very cheap. And yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to give specific prices for how much the IP is. So I don't want to go too much into detail in case it's something that I would get in trouble talking about. But
Point for fries.
it is more than that, I'll just say. Yeah, so it really just depends on like who you get. Although I will also say the IP purchase is also more than the model. It's not just the model. It's like the assets and other stuff that like relates to the model and IP. So like there is more being factored in there than just the model. That is just part of it. Yeah. You also got a discount because Emmy is a Chad. What if I told you it was Bree who gave me the discount? Emmy is a Chad though. She did so much beautiful work and she worked so fast for me. But yeah, both of them had offered at the time to help me out with the model because like we had no idea what was happening with my agency. So like yeah, they both did beautiful work and I'm super grateful for it. Thank you guys, thank you. Mittag, thank you for the $5 super. Towards the download fund, you got to wait for the big one next time I get paid. But I bet we will get some good Yuri art. And God bless you. I thank you. This is true. Download frog Yuri is absolutely allowed. Yeah. When she returns, you'll be the first VTuber I know that uses multiple VTuber models. Yeah, there's a few VTubers I can think of who do it, but it is definitely not very common. And that's just because it's easier to focus your efforts onto like one persona. And I honestly will mostly be doing that with Cheeto. Honestly, like again, like I don't really know how much I'll be using Rebby. Ideally, I'd like to use her still every now and then. But like honestly, like we could even end up with like really big periods where I don't do anything with Rebby at all. I don't know. It's like that's what I ideally would like to do. But it's like hard to know for sure what the content output for Rebby will be at that time, because like it's in the future and I just don't know. I don't know how busy I'll be at that time with Cheeto and what all will be happening, and you know. Yeah. Unrelated, but I'm glad we're being honest about the whole thing instead of trying to keep kayfabe. It's refreshing to see in the VTuber space. Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm gonna be like, you know, if we're raising all this money to get like, you know, IP and stuff, like I want to be as transparent as I can about everything. So yeah, I'm just like laying it all out on the table so like everybody knows kind of what the deal is. You know, there's maybe a few details I can't necessarily share if it's like contract related stuff, but like everything that I can share I do want to share, so that way everyone donating has as much information as they can. And just in case there's something here that does not get asked or I don't think about it, I have also made some posts, one on Twitter, one on my YouTube channel in the post section. You can go to either one of those. I have laid out like the full plan. I think a lot of that has gotten covered in this stream. So, you might not, there might not be anything in there that we haven't discussed, but just in case that there is, if there's something in there that doesn't get asked, like, you can also refer to those posts as well for more information. Yeah, and Galaxy's thank you for the $5 super for Rebby. I thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Bree's done so much for the VTuber community. They're both really great. I'm so happy for all the work that, like, and I had more friends help me as well with other parts of like building everything for Rebby, like with the chat box and Rebby's initial design and stuff like that, and I just really appreciate all the help that I have gotten. And Ryu, thank you for the $5 super. Did you bribe Bree with Unquestionables? No, but that's a good idea. I'll keep that in mind for next time. When are she and Rebby going to collab? I don't know. I'm honestly not thinking a ton that far ahead at the moment. There's certain things that I've chosen to prioritize now. Mostly things relating to the fundraiser. My focus is still mostly on the fundraiser because that's the next step in everything. But if we are able to fund everything for the fundraiser, then that will be when I can start thinking ahead and start planning for like a new debut for Cheeto. As well as like what content around that time might look like. But right now I mostly have answers relating to the fundraiser. I also will say, cause I got a ton of lore related questions when I talked about it in members. I do not have any like lore figured out. I'll just like say that now before the questions get asked. I don't have any lore figured out for Cheeto. I guess beyond what's already established, but if it's like new stuff, I do not have answers, so if you ask, it will be met with an I don't know. Yeah, I can mostly just answer questions about like the fundraiser right now. Yeah. Base frog or professional transparency, what is your wisdom? It's okay to make mistakes. Everyone does, and just because you make a mistake does not mean that the world should hold it against you forever. As long as you take steps to further, better yourself and learn from your mistake. Stuff like that, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that means you have a high level of respect for your audience, which means you get big ups from me. Thank you, Shiva. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I do try to treat my community very kindly. Yeah, because I love you guys, and I really appreciate like how many of you are here. Like even just today, like so many of you guys showed up. And you're like ready to help me with this, and I'm just like I really appreciate that. So like any way I can give back, even if it's like in small ways, like I'm happy to do so, Yeah. VTuber lore is overrated in my opinion. They're not really necessary. I might do something with lore, but I just don't really have any ideas right now. Not only would I need to figure out the idea for like the story part of it, but then also dependent on like how I want to make it. If I want to make it myself, I'll have to make sure I have time to put it together. And if I want to commission somebody for it, then that will also cost money. And maybe if I get enough from the fundraiser, like if we get a lot extra or something, I don't know how much we'll be making. Maybe if there's a lot extra, I could look at that, but then also, that's a lot of money for lore, so I don't know. That money could be used towards something better that I'll be using for longer, so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could try just putting something together myself, but I don't know yet. I don't really have any information, about anything that far out right now. Can't believe the Power Jumps / Bravos are the first fan base with 2 mana! I don't think I'm the first, But it's definitely not very common. Yeah. Yeah, something else that I was wondering if I was the first, and turns out that I'm not. I thought there was a chance that I might be the first, like, agency talent who was fully graduated, and then later down the line, after being completely fully graduated, reacquire the IP. But turns out I'm not even the first to do that. So like, you know, there's a lot of people in the VTuber scene. You never know until you really go looking, like, who all has been able to do what. But in my case, it's definitely not a common thing that's happened. Yeah. Minnie's kind of the same in that regard. I think Minnie's case is a little bit different. I don't know all the details of what her deal is, so I don't want to speak on it too much in case there's maybe something I'm not supposed to say. But I think in her case, she didn't have to like reacquire the IP later because Brave gave her like a special deal. You know, all of the talents who were leaving at the time of the acquisition, they got like a special deal regarding IP and stuff. Yeah. Consult ChatGPT. Respectfully, I'd rather write stuff myself than have an AI come up with it for me. It'll have more soul in it that way. Yeah. Yeah. It's always fun to have some lore for fan art and fun. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm not a huge lore person though, so like, there's a part of me that likes the idea to put together like a professional looking like debut. But then there's also the rest of me that's like, well, I'm not a big lore person and it would cost a lot of money. And like, I have heard several accounts from different VTuber friends where the lore video is what gets like the debut delayed, and like, I don't know. So like, I am very wary about the idea of a lore video that I have to commission. 'Cause even the lore video that I have a share, a lot of that work was done by me. The art was both by me and my senpai Lottie at the time, and then the editing was all done by me. Like, I didn't commission anybody for the lore video. So I honestly, actually, I guess I have no experience at all commissioning somebody for a lore video. I've never done that before. I don't really know, like, what that looks like, I guess. I mean, like, I guess it's not much different from commissioning anything else, but I'm just wary about it.
So just to clarify for anyone whose name starts with a G and ends with an X, you aren't doing this because you suddenly think Rebby is ugly, right?
What? Name starts with a G and ends with an X. I don't know what all that's about, but thanks for the $3, I guess? Yeah. Again, Rebby, if you want lore, let me cook and get back to you later. A nerd like me was born for that kind of thing. Well, I guess if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know. Gags from the 90s platformer? That was the first thought that I had, but I don't really know how it relates to the rest of that message. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's tail time. Yeah, are there any other questions? I think I've laid everything out. I think I'm trying to think if there's anything I forgot to mention when I was going over the timeline of my thoughts during the closure up till now. But I think I got it pretty laid out. Yeah, I don't think there's any other extra details. I don't know. Where do babies come from? That's not a related question! Or is it? Babies actually come from your monetarily support of Rebby's fundraiser on Saturday. Donate $100 and you'll help a new baby be born.
Big money for big pee-pee havers. That's me.
Joking aside, in my personal philosophy, when a second chance like this happens despite all the odds going against it, I interpret that as meaning that God intended it to happen. He clearly has big plans for you. Glad we get to be a part of them.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you, Logan. Thank you for the tipping. That's kind of how I feel too. Like the fact that I was able to make this happen. The fact that I got an answer when nobody else has been able to. It like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting this opportunity to happen. I do know there were some messages that I saw. Some people thought that like this is like this whole thing, the whole decision to fundraise and stuff and everything happened very suddenly. Like I don't actually know what they thought the timeline was. So like my CEO just randomly reached out and offered it, and then I'm just like, yeah, okay, I guess I do want Cheeto. Out of nowhere, decided to fundraise for it. I don't know if that's how they thought the timeline went, but that's not at all how the timeline went. But there were some people who thought like this whole like wanting Cheeto back was like super sudden. And I guess maybe I don't really need to clarify about it because I did just set up the entire timeline of events to my memory, as accurate as I can get it, like as accurate as it happened, you know, in my memory and stuff. But I have put like a lot of thought into this over the course of multiple months before I even let any Frobbles know that I was thinking about it. So yeah, the fact that this happened too, it's like, yeah, I feel like maybe it's a sign of some sort. Maybe it is. Maybe this decision to go this direction will lead to bigger things down the line. I don't know. Very important question, Rebby. Why are you a man with a voice changer? I was hoping you just ask, are you a man with a voice changer? So I can just ask yes. Or not ask, but just say yes and then move on. I'm just saying, how likely was all this? Not very, right? I don't know. I just know that, like, according to literally everyone I've talked to, no one has been able to get an answer until now. Like, I surprised some of my people, some of the Pixel people, by getting an answer. Like, as soon as I got an answer, I went and told my manager, because I had asked my manager if, like, before I even reached out, if they thought I would be able to buy the IP if I reached out. And they were like, well, you can try, but, like, we didn't think we'd get an answer. So, like, as soon as I did, I went and told him, and he was like, whoa! Yeah. You've mentioned for a while now in the Discord that you've missed her after all. Yeah, I think just not everyone is in the Discord, so for some people, this might seem really out of nowhere. Like, and I think especially to people who are not super close fans, because I think I've mentioned it in the Discord, I've mentioned it on stream a few times, and then, no, I actually haven't talked about this on Twitter at all. So it depends on how close of a people. Wait, of a people? No. Sorry, there's like skin on my finger that I keep wanting to chew off and it's distracting me. Okay, I got it. It depends on how close of a fan the specific people are. If there's like more casual fans that really kind of only pay attention to what I'm posting on Twitter, then yeah, like they're gonna have no idea and this probably would really blindside them. But if you're like in my Discord or you're like watch the streams more closely, sometimes topics like that come up and that's where you would know like just how long that this has been in conversation or on my mind. You know? Yeah. Yeah. All I know is I'm happy you were getting this opportunity. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Yeah, no, me too. It's a huge surprise, but like I am very, 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 very happy very happy that this is something that we're able to pursue. Yeah. If Rebby's a guy, then I'm gay. Well, I don't know. I guess you'll just have to believe in whatever your gut tells you. I don't use Discord because I am a spiritual boomer. No, honestly, fair. Discord kind of sucks in a lot of ways. But it is nice to have like my little server where I can just kind of like talk about stuff, you know. Sometimes the Discord is the first place I talk about something that's on my mind. So, yeah, Discord is something. Yeah, but I guess if I'm being honest, so is YouTube and so is Twitter. Like, there's good and bad sides to all of them. I just try to like use them for what I need and try to stay away from the bad side. Yeah. Wish we could talk too. Sorry, I'm not interested in opening up the server to general discussion. Because if I do that, then it needs to be moderated. And I don't have the time to moderate it. And honestly, even if I have mods, they might not always have time to moderate it. And it also opens us up to getting like hate rates and stuff. Like another nice thing about the Discord being mostly reaction based is like we don't have to worry about any of that. It makes it a lot easier, a lot simpler. Yeah. I know it might make it hard to share like thoughts and stuff sometimes, but this is just like the kind of way I wanted to do it. Because I think if I couldn't have the Discord this way, I just wouldn't have one at all. I do not want to run a community. It's very hard and it's time consuming, and I just do not have the time to do that. That's why that my Discord is set up the way that it is. Yeah. I like the Rebby Discord because we aren't allowed to talk in it, and that's kind of refreshing. Well, I mean, you guys are allowed to talk just with like the emotes and stuff instead of free speech and free will. Yeah. Hi, Ooga Booga. Hi, Rebby. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Yeah. Yeah. And if any individuals just want to discuss some things, they can just go to fan Discord servers. Yeah, that is true. There are, I don't know how many there are. I know there's at least one fan Rebby Discord. I don't know where the link to it is. But I do know that there's one out there. And then also, like, stuff can be discussed on Twitter as well. Sometimes I see fans of other VTubers, they'll make like posts about the VTubers to discuss something that happened. So like, there's other spaces for discussion and stuff. War! Conversations about war! No war! No war allowed! No! Yeah, having moderated communities before, it's 50-50 on whether things go well or result in some drama. It's not so easy to do. Now, I've even had some experience moderating Discords before. And in my experience, it's very common for people to get like uppity about the rules. They don't want to listen. Heck, it doesn't even have to be Discord. Sometimes, there's been times where I'm on stream and I tell someone to cut something out on it, and it's met with like jokes or like defiance. And like people don't want to listen. So Discord is just 10 times more of that. You know, it's I don't want to deal with that. It's really annoying. You have rules. As a matter of fact, I do. And if you just scroll down to the description, you'll get like 5 or so rules for the price of just 2 easy clicks. I also don't remember how many rules I have down there, but I do have them down there. Yeah. There is no war at Frog Sing Say. We are safe here within the Discord. Yeah. fantastic. Now I know what rules to break. No, I have 6 rules. Oh, that's pretty close then. I don't very commonly go down and look at my rules, but I just know that I have them there. Done. You have to run a Discord like a cult. The leader's word is absolute, as if it were divine law. Those that do not follow the law are sure to be removed. Yeah, it's just hard though, because sometimes I had this struggle as well, like a ton, when I was in Pixelink. One of the biggest struggles I had was knowing like, one of the biggest struggles I had in Pixelink was like knowing where to draw the line on chat moderation. Because like we did not have any contact with moderators. Am I allowed to say that? Well, I just did. So like managers would handle that a lot, but it made it kind of hard to communicate on like what you wanted moderated and what you didn't. And then like I was always so afraid of timing. If it was a new person, then it didn't matter too much, but like if it was like a regular, I always would wonder like, what do you do when it's a regular? And it's like most of the time that person is great. I really like them. They're nice to hang around, but they frequently break this one rule and it bothers me a lot. What do you do in that situation? I always used to wonder stuff like that. Was that a goose? No, that's a car outside, like a big truck honking. Stop honking! Yeah. Also, there's a spider up there. Is that an egg sack or did you just have really big pedipalps? Hang on, I have to see. I think it's a spider with a bug. It's not an egg sack. Thank God. I already had to remove 2 different spiders from my house that had egg sacs. I don't want to kill them, so instead I release them outside. But I just don't want to do it more, you know? Yeah, I used to struggle with that a lot too. And like, man, like, I used to struggle so much because I was always afraid that like I would like step out of line or say something I wasn't supposed to, or do something I wasn't supposed to, or be a little bit too chaotic and I'm not supposed to. Man, that was fun. Actually, if I can be totally honest, that is another thing that added to the stress around that time, around the time of the closure. Unrelated to the closure, but happened to be around the same time, is like I had like an influx of chatters who were just kind of being really weird in my chat. Like I had a lot of backseaters, people trying to come in and roleplay, sending chat messages that just made absolutely no sense repeatedly. There was a lot of that around the time, and it also stressed me out a lot. That also did not help the whole stress arc of the closure. But you know, like, actually that's something else that I want to say. It's like, even though we didn't, you know, honestly, Rebby hasn't been around like terribly long. It's been about 5 months, yeah, almost 5 months. And even though she hasn't been around like terribly long, I do feel like getting to be Rebby did give me something that like, if I had gone immediately for Cheeto during the closure, I wonder if I would have gotten it. It gave me the chance to be like myself without any stress and worry of how it would reflect on an agency. Because like, I was always afraid that I would maybe be too much. And there were some times where I would make jokes and stuff that would maybe be okay in certain agencies, but just like, certain agencies, let me enunciate there. I don't even know what the heck I said to begin with. That like, were kind of like, iffy in mind. I think it was just kind of the culture of the place. I don't know. But it really made me second guess myself a lot, and I felt really scared to be myself. I don't want that to be like taken as like a negative point against Pixel. I have seen some like corpo hate regarding like the fundraiser. Like, some people have responded to it like positively to me, but then like negatively towards like the corpo. And I'm not gonna tell anyone how to feel about corpos because I totally understand where it comes from. You know, we have gotten a lot of like bad stories. But I do want to be like totally honest. Like, Pixel had its flaws, but I do genuinely feel like it was one of the better places to be. And even if there were some times where I felt really stressed, or maybe felt like I couldn't be entirely myself, they still treated me very nicely there. My managers were some of the best, and I have a lot of really positive memories from there. And I still have a lot of love for it, even if there was some stresses in there as well, you know?
Point for Frank.
You know.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, I had a point to saying all of that, and then I got distracted. What am I saying? What was I saying? What was I saying here? I had a point that I was making, and then I got sidetracked. I can't remember. But can't give it a $2 super. Rebby gave us gift frog song. For that, I'm thankful. But yeah, I mean, it might be like maybe the first cover of that song ever. Is the chat? But dang it, the chat's frozen again. Thank you for pointing that out. I literally never notice on my own when it happens. Someone always has to tell me. Refresh it. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate when you let me know. I never notice it on my own. Oh yeah, now I remember what I was saying. Because I was saying that, like, Rebby gave me a place where I could learn how to be myself and how I wanted to, like, moderate my community and how I wanted to be as a creator without, like, the external stresses of, like, representing a company, right? Cause, you know, if I mess up now, it only reflects bad on me. It doesn't reflect bad on anyone else. And I honestly feel like that's given me a lot of confidence, and I feel like I don't mess up as much as I used to. I feel like I've gotten a lot better in a lot of aspects. So even if Rebby didn't stick around like super long, I do feel like getting to be here has given me like that valuable experience and also confidence in myself that I might not have gotten otherwise, because I don't know how it would have gone for sure if I had gone immediately for Cheeto at the closure of the agency instead of going for her now. But I kind of suspect, like, there's the chance that maybe I would have eventually eased into, like, okay, I'm an indie now and I don't have to worry about it. But I almost wonder if there would have been this pressure to keep doing as I had been and not really change. Just because all of that was associated with the IP so closely. So I feel like having a totally fresh start, a totally fresh slate, kind of gave me a space where I could be more comfortable to branch out and really, like, just kind of become myself. If that makes sense. So now I feel like if I go back to Cheeto now, I can be myself and I don't have to worry about that necessarily, you know? Yeah. Hi, Jumping Fox. I just got here, so tell me if this idea has been said already. You should pilot both models and stream on both channels at the same time. That idea has been said already, and that would burn me out to the point of depression, I think, if I tried to do that frequently. Or like putting the same energy into both. I don't think I can do that. Yeah. I'm just glad you got the chance to reclaim the IP. Yeah, me too. I'm really thankful for it. Yeah. Whoa, Frog streaming! No way, she's super cute. I'm not that cute! No. What if it's literally both at the same time? How would I even do that? With two different models? Two different, like, settings? I don't know if you can even do that, actually. I don't know if that's possible. Also, how strong would your computer need to be? Oh, also, you can only have one stream key in OBS at a time. Maybe if you set up like Streamlabs OBS or something. That's like a separate software. Actually, do they still call it Streamlabs OBS? They got into some trouble a while back for using the OBS name despite being completely separate. I think it's just called Streamlabs now, maybe? I don't know, because like there's Streamlabs, like my donation page, but then they also have like a software that you can use to stream. I don't really use Streamlabs though. I don't think I think I maybe used to like so long ago, like super long ago, but like I've been using OBS for so long. One OBS, one Streamlabs would probably work. Yeah, but like you would need such a powerful computer to do that. Well, you get 2 computers, Rebby. I don't need another computer. I don't need another computer. What the heck? You should be able to use multiple models, but it depends on the software. I've seen people compare different versions of their models next to each other. I don't even know how people do that. Like, I've tried opening like 2 instances of VTube Studio to try to put like captures of both in the OBS, and only one will capture, the other one will freeze. So you can't do that. I don't know how people put 2 different models tracking side by side into their like OBS. Like, I could make a copy of Rebby if I really wanted to. Here, let me do it right now. Copy, paste. Like, I can do this, but if you want like an entirely different model, I don't know how people do that. I've always wondered about that. Maybe it's a VBudger thing. No, VBudger is literally just for model tracking. It doesn't do with like applications like that. And it's also not like its own entirely like how do I put this in the words? You don't use it on its own. It's like an extension to be used with VTube Studio. So you can't like put one VTube Studio in and then one VBudger in and then they're both like tracking different models. That's not how that works. It's like an extension. Make the Rebbys make out. No! I can't even do that. If I turn my head to one way, the other one will be looking the other way. Does VTube Studio run on CPU or GPU? I do not know. I'm not very tech savvy. That's part of why I don't know. Actually, wait, I have an idea. Can I just like flip this? Can I flip it? How do I flip it? Yay! There you go. You can flip it. I figured it out. Yippee! But yeah, I can't even use VBudger. Also, can I just say I have tried to set up VBudger. Actually, my model right now has VBudger stuff on it, but I have never used it because I can't get VBudger to work. And also, VBudger requires a Wi-Fi connection to connect to VTube Studio, which means that like I think, or maybe it's VTube Studio needs a Wi-Fi connection to connect to VBudger. I think it's like that. So I would need to use Wi-Fi for VTube Studio, and I don't use it like that. Instead, I use the USB connection because I feel like every time I try to use Wi-Fi, there's like a noticeable at least to me, like downgrade in like. It like introduces some lag. It introduces lag. Because my Wi-Fi is not the best. I use my computer with an Ethernet cable running directly into it. So I don't really use the Wi-Fi. Please not USB. What do you mean not USB? That's literally the best option I have available. Yeah. Yeah. Wired connection is always better anyway. Yeah. Like, maybe if I had a really strong Wi-Fi connection, it would work. But even then, I still can't get VBudger to even, like, track with VTube Studio. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Friends have tried to help me and they can't figure it out. So instead, I just don't use it. And that's honestly fine by me because I think my facial tracking is very good even without using VBudger. Like, it could add some extra stuff to it, but it's not bad without it, you know? And I hardly ever even use toggles. Like, most of this is all just face tracking. It's so good, isn't it? In VTS, you can load the model, click on the green star, load current model as live 2D item, and then you can load a second model in. Is that how people are doing it? Oh, I would not have thought to do that. I'll try to remember that so I can do it later. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been wondering how people do that for so long. I feel though like whenever you have a tech question, it's so hard to get an answer out of other VTubers. It's always been that way. Yeah. We love tech troubleshooting. Yeah, your model is very expressive. Yeah! Most expressive model I've ever had. I remember a friend had better wireless than wired connection. His router was so bad that this ended up happening. Eh? Wait, if his router was so bad, then like, how would the wireless connection be better? It's because it's still using your router for the Wi-Fi, isn't it? Unless there's something here I'm not understanding. Also, I thought I heard a noise behind me. Is there a giant flying bug in here? Well, there better not be. I don't want there to be a giant flying bug in here. Rebby is very good at puppeting a model. Well, I do have a lot of experience. No, look, that's something that not every VTuber does, actually. I highly recommend. I mean, the kind of tracking that you have, it does kind of matter, like what the rigging is on your model, right? Right? Like, if you only have very simple, like, keyframes in your blend shapes on your model, then your model's only gonna be able to do simple things. So, like, some of it is that. But if you do have, like, really complex rigging, then, like, yeah, you want to learn to, like, puppet it and, like, make faces, you know, be facially expressive. Because I could just sit here and not really do much. I could just, like, sit here and, like, talk to you guys like this. Hey, guys. What's up? Yeah, having a good day? You just can't... I'm trying my best to keep my face straight. But just, like, if you just, like, sit here and talk and I'm not really emoting... Like, I feel like you can still tell that the mouth rigging has a lot going on. But then, like, the rest of my face isn't really doing anything. And, like, so, like, a lot of that is, like, actual effort into being expressive. I very much recommend that VTubers, make an effort to do that. Because it makes a big difference. Does Breeder live to classes? Nope. But I also don't have, I don't have an updated live 2D anyway. Yeah. But also, I don't really need a class. Like, I know how to do some rigging. Not that I have time to do it. But, like, I'd rather just commission somebody. It's like, I can rig a model, but I cannot rig a model anywhere near to the quality of, like, this standard, right? If I rig it, like, it'll move. I can make it functional. But it's not gonna look nearly as good. Yeah. It's like the episode with normal SpongeBob. Hi, how are ya? I remember that episode. Yeah. I recently saw a tweet that clowned about how many VTubers have no idea about the tech side of when VTubing is really techy, which really sad me. I think I saw that tweet this morning too. And honestly, I can't really say anything because I'm also not super tech savvy. Like, it depends on what it is. There's some stuff that I know pretty well. Like, I kind of know my way around OBS pretty well. I've been using it for so long. And there's certain things that I know how to troubleshoot. I'm pretty good with cords and wires and figuring that out. Plugging stuff in and out. Making sure stuff is plugged into the right spots. But like, stuff with like fixing something on your PC, I might not know how to do that. I never had a big PC until pretty recently. Just for like VTubing and stuff, so like that's not something that I ever learned. Mayo, how you doing? Rebby does be fighting at times. It just understands just not going with it. Yeah, it's just frustrating. Yeah, but also you honestly don't need it. I've even seen some misinformation about VButcher before. I once saw somebody say that you can only do mouth X if you have VButcher. If you don't know what mouth X is, it's like sliding your mouse side to side, like. Because it's called that because it's like mouth sliding on the X parameter, which is side to side. Well, I don't have VButcher, and I'm doing it. And then I also saw somebody who was like, it was funny, I saw somebody respond, and they're like, no, you can do mouth X without VButcher, but you can't do cheek puff without VButcher. And like, I think so many people have become so reliant on VButcher that they don't understand how much you can set up with just good rigging. You don't need VButcher. I think the only thing that I know that you can do with VBridger that my model cannot do, is like the mouse can like move up and down a little bit vertically. Like I can't do that without VBridger. That's the only thing. What does VBridger even do? So it's like a software where if you have a model that has certain blend shapes rigged into it, blend shapes that VBridger supports, and then you use VBridger as like an extension to VTube Studio, it can allow you to move your face in that way and make expressions that you would not otherwise be able to make. It's just that people kind of attribute more faces to VBridger than it actually supports. Like mouth X and cheek puff. You don't need VBridger for those. So Y-ing the mouth, yeah, it's like a mouth Y if the mouth like moved up and down some, you know. And it can also give you a smoother like eating animation, you know, like. Mine looks kind of silly, but I'm not using VBridger, so you know. Wait, Mayo, didn't I give you mod? Why are you not modded? Did I accidentally mod somebody else? Who did I mod a few minutes ago? Wait a minute. Who here has mod who didn't have it 2 minutes ago? I need to know. Did I just mod some random potion? Okay, now you need to go check my mods. I swear I had your message selected. Did it just not go through? Okay, hold up. Hang on. Okay, here we go. The problem is I have so many VTubers modded, and then my actual mods. Oh, I need to scroll through like so many people. Oh, this is gonna take me a second. Okay. Okay, those are my actual mods, okay. These are a lot of my friends. That's another mod. It's my manager. That's another mod. I don't see anyone in here who's not supposed to be in here. I guess nothing happened. I guess nothing went through when I tried to mod you a minute ago. I'm so confused. I saw a message pop up for it. What the heck? Never mind. Secret mod now. Nah, there's nobody in there who's not supposed to be. I don't know. I swear I saw a message pop up saying that you got modded, but then your name still wasn't blue, and I got really confused. Maybe modded the Invisible Man. That's a real problem. Not that guy. That's a really good movie, though, by the way. The remade one. I've never seen the original, but the remade one's pretty good. Yeah, just mod everyone. It'll be fine. Ha, no thanks, sir. No thanks, sir. Yeah, for my VBridger, it's like iPhone, iFiscal, mocap, VBridger program, VTube Studio. You use iFiscal mocap too? Yeah. I have iFiscal mocap on my phone, but I think I've only ever really used it for Warudo. And I can't figure out Warudo that easily either. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe I just need more advanced trackers. Maybe he just doesn't like my trackers. Cause like some of the other girls who use Warudo, they have different trackers than I do, and I swear like when they dance around and stuff, it looks so good. But when I tried to set up Warudo, it looked so stiff, and like my body was made of sticks. Maybe it's because I use different trackers. Thoughts on PNG tubers? I mean, I don't really have thoughts on them. They're creators like any other. That's about it.
Big money for big pee-pee house.
Tano, go away!
Mom, I am a mod now.
No, you are not! I checked. Your name is not in there. Go away, Tano. I haven't tried 3D. Yeah, which it's really interesting because those same trackers work really well in VR chat. Like, they're pretty good. I have, not really, problems or anything. But yeah, but when I tried to do it in Warudo, it was just like, I didn't know you could use iFiscal mocap with VTube Studio. Huh. But that also requires a Wi-Fi connection. And I don't want to use my Wi-Fi connection. Yeah, a good old channel. No, not channel. I did not give channel mod. No. No. Does it? I need to test. Does what? I put some look at me the Wi-Fi connection? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I just use my USB connection. It's way better. Ah. But anyway, I think I got everything covered. And I think we've wrapped a good bit. Sorry, I'm kind of low on energy. Well, I've been low on energy the entire time. I'm honestly really happy that I managed to get like a good train of thought for like talking about like that whole situation for the fundraiser, because I really wanted to talk about everything in like a public stream. I only really had the chance to in a member stream. So I'm really happy I managed to get that like energy going and stuff, you know. Yeah. Yeah, instead of saying mods get him, we could say channel get him. No. Okay then, if Tanner is a mod, then time somebody out for 1 minute right now, Tanner. Just somebody at random for just 1 minute.
Thank you.
Right now. Probably someone who just chatted, so I can easily see it. Thank you for the $5 super. I'm gonna miss Rebby's sickness, especially in 3D. It got me a lot. Well, you don't know. Maybe she will also be sick. Maybe. Permaban me, bro. No permabans. No permabans. Just a minute timeout. Prove it, Tanner. Prove it. I'm waiting. We got many volunteers here. I'm waiting. He got him? No, he didn't. Message retracted means it was deleted by the user. He did not get one. I don't see anybody timed out. Firebird deleted his own message. He did not get got by a mod. I'm trying. See, you're not a mod, Tano. Get out of here. I want a more petite model. Maybe she will be thick. Well, Rebby is petite and thick, and you just said you liked it. You guys just said you liked that. No, when I mean petite, I just mean like, okay, here. I did the same comparison. Am I allowed to put Cheeto? Yeah, I'm allowed. Okay, yeah, no. If I can do it for the thumbnail in a member stream, I'm sure it's fine to do it here. Okay. I'll show you guys what I mean when I say I want a more petite model. Because I have had some people ask, like, how can Cheeto get even smaller? Because, like, on paper, she's really short. Okay, so here's Cheeto. Here's Cheeto. Okay. That's Cheeto. And let me just pull up a PNG of me. I could also just use myself, but I want to be able to focus on it easier. Where are my full body pictures? Okay, here. Here's one of me. Okay, now I want to start by first making them like, I'm focusing on the feet. Make the feet roughly the same size, and I want to put them on the same level. Can I put Cheeto on the same level? Oh my god, I just want to put the feet on the same level! Okay. Even. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, to illustrate my point, I've made them like roughly equal sizes, I suppose. Like, I'm going off like based off the feet there. So on paper, Rebby and Cheeto are both 120 centimeters. However, when you look at these two models, One is very clearly like smaller, more youthful looking than the other. Yeah, legs shorter, rounder face, shorter torso, thinner frame. Yeah. Like on paper, they're both 120 centimeters, but if I were to make them actually the same height, now Rebby looks like a giant monster. With the fattest head ever. Like you can increase the height for like pictures like that, right? But it doesn't look right. It looks weird. And that's because it's not very natural. So if I make Rebby like a more natural size, and I'm using the feet again as comparison, the feet are roughly the same size. Rebby and Cheeto, there's a very clear distinction there. And Cheeto's model is fantastic. And I will always have like a very special place in my heart for it. The art is great. The artist was great to work with. I have so much praise for it. But just my personal taste for it, she's a bit too borderline to like average height, in my opinion. Rebby is more like, I don't think anyone would argue about her being like a small lolly, but Cheeto is like, a lot of people would agree that she is, but it could be argued that she's not. It could be like debated, you know. And I want something that's more petite and more like clear. I hope that makes sense to help people understand like why I'm getting the new model and what I mean by that. Why the heck is my scene transitions on OBS like popped out? There we go. Okay, fixed it. Yeah, more Lana. Yeah. Pippa was raving about the chair design the other week. Was she really? You know, honestly, that's something that I am really sad about. It's like, I've seen like both Allie and Pippa have supported the fundraiser, and I'm really, really grateful for that. I just worry that like, it's possible that they've both also seen the post laying out my plans and stuff, because that post also did get a lot of traction. And they were posted very close to each other, so it's very easy to like, it was easy to check my profile to see that too. But like, I guess a part of me worries like, maybe what if they didn't see it, and like, what if I disappoint them by getting a model with a different artist? I don't really want to leave the Chitty family, but I also want to be true to what I want out of a model. And if we're gonna raise all this money, then like, I feel like I should use something that makes me happy, you know? So that was also not an easy decision to make. And I have also seen some fans who are also a bit disappointed that specific model will not be coming back. And I guess I just want everyone to know that that decision was not made lightly either. Even though I've had my feelings on the model for a long time, I still thought hard about that too. Because like, yeah, I didn't want to disappoint people, you know? Not the invisible man is you! I think in the end it's more important that you like how it looks and it's true to your intentions to the character. Yeah, and I will say, regarding like design changes for Cheeto, I'm not planning to do very much. The biggest change will be proportions. The rest of it will mostly be the same. So for anyone who really liked Cheeto's color scheme, or like the outfit, stuff like that, there's not gonna be much different. It will mostly just be proportion changes. There will be an art style change, of course, because I'm going with a different artist. But yeah. Were you wearing platform shoes when they took the height measurement? I don't know. Basically, we're chopping off Cheeto's forelegs, got it. Yeah, kind of. What if we liked old Cheeto more? I'm sure there will be some people who feel that way. Well, I'm sure there's people who feel all kinds of ways. There's people who would prefer I stay with Rebby. There's people who are like, maybe be sad that I'm getting a new model. There would maybe be people who are sad if I go to Cheeto and don't get a new model because they liked how petite Rebby was and Cheeto is taller and a bit more mature looking. And then there's people who are probably upset that I'm even doing the fundraiser to begin with. Like, there's no way for me to please everybody, right? Oh, and then to add to that, I'm sure there'd be people who'd be upset if I don't do the fundraiser. If people found out I had this chance and then didn't do it because I was worried about what people would think, there'd be people upset about that. Like, there's no way to make everyone happy here. I just have to figure out, like, and I have figured out, not to imply that I haven't figured this out yet, but I just gotta do, like, what I think will make me the happiest, what I think will make my community happy as well. Like, the majority. I can't do that for every individual, but I can try to do what I think will make most people happy. And, just go with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, I understand, like, the disappointment with some things changing. And that's totally okay to feel that way. I mean, I'm sad about some of it too. Like, even as I'm saying I'm making the decision that makes me happiest, there's still sadness in there too on my part too. So I totally understand where the feelings come from, and I don't blame anybody for feeling that way. So if you do feel that way, don't feel sad. Chill, mature looking. I said more mature looking. A comparison. Open your ears. No, I'm just kidding. What was I saying? Yeah, you distracted me. Honestly, give me the $2 super. I'm happy as long as you're happy. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But I think what I wanted to say is, like, you know, don't feel bad if you aren't super, like, 100% happy with something. Because that's natural that not everyone is gonna be, like, 100% like, choo-choo, on board with full steam ahead, you know? But I just hope that, at the very least, most people will be happy. And that, that I feel like I'm doing what will make me happy too. Yeah. And I can't speak for how Pippa and Owie will feel, but I can at least say for me that even if we have different mamas moving forward, they will always be my VTuber family. That will not change for me. Yeah. Only one way to find out how it turns out. Yeah. I'm honestly a bit nervous about it too. I can't get the new model in production yet until after the fundraiser, after I sign the contract and stuff and everything's, like, legally figured out. So I still don't know exactly what the new model will look like exactly. It'll be a bit of a surprise for me too. I mean, of course I'm picking out, like, the art mamas and stuff, so I have an idea. But I feel like, you know, details can, like, differ from model to model sometimes. So I feel like, maybe this is just me actually, but I feel like I struggle to fully imagine, fully envision what, like, a model will look like in someone's style until I can see it. So I feel like even for me that there would be, like, some surprise in there. But I'm trying to make what I feel is the best decision. Step siblings? Or maybe. But I don't know, maybe this won't really mean anything, but, like, I do feel like even if Cheeto's model mama changes, the origin of Cheeto is always with Chitty in the Chitty fam. Maybe some people will, that'll make some people happy. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I could stay in the Chitty family. Like, I wish I could just have everything be perfect. I wish I could get exactly what I'm wanting and also still be in, like, the Chitty family and stuff. But I don't think that I can. Not only are the commissions closed right now, but even if they were not, Chitty doesn't really do the style of lolly model that I'm wanting. And, it's kind of rude to ask an artist with an established style to do something that differs too much out of it. I don't want to be disrespectful to any artist by asking them to do something that they don't normally do, you know? So there's also that too, and also it would cost more. I think I talked about this already earlier today. I think this already came up, but I'm just saying it again. Yeah, I think it's just, if I want what I want, it just has to be with a different artist, and that's just kind of where it is, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna miss Fargo, because I didn't know about you when you were the Dino, but I'm just happy to watch you make more fun content. Yeah! I hope I can still, like, find, some good ideas and good time to still be, like, Rebby too, so that way it's not, like, a full, like, she's just gone. Yeah, I thought about that too. Like, there's some problems who only found me as Rebby. They didn't find me from my past life or anything. So, like, this must be a pretty big change and stuff, you know? You know?
Wait a minute. Tana. Cheeto. Pixel Link. Now I know why your voice is familiar. You're Rebby.
No! I mean, I guess I am Rebby. But also, where's that Heckle? Where's that Heckle? Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah. I wish everything could be perfect and I could get everything I'm wanting. Same, Queen! Yeah. You were so nice and well-kinded. Geez, very polite girl. Yeah, well, I think also part of it is just like, especially Japanese artists, they're very, very big on etiquette. And I think, from what I've heard, like, I'll be totally honest, I don't have a lot of experience, commissioning Japanese artists. Actually, when Cheeto was in development, that was my first time, commissioning a model with a Japanese artist. So, there's honestly even the chance I could be kind of wrong about certain things. But I was told by my management that it is very, very, very rude to ask an artist, especially Japanese artists, to do something that they just don't normally do. Like, at that point, why don't you just go to somebody who does do what you want, you know? So maybe with Western artists, there's more, like, wiggle room to ask for something different. I'm not entirely sure. I just know I don't want to approach with a request that they don't normally do and it leaves, like, a sour taste in their mouth. You know, like, that would be awful. And I want to be respectful. So, I think this is just the best move to make. I learned about Cheeto after discovering you as Rebby. I hope the fundraiser goes well. It would be nice to see the IP coming back. Thank you, Stripe. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we have so much hype built up for it. I feel like it'll go well. There's still a part of me that's a bit nervous because it still is a lot of money. You know, it's a lot of money. But I feel like we have a pretty good chance, you know. I feel more confident in it now, rather than like when I first announced it or before I did, you know. Yeah. It's a big change. But when you became Rebby, you were still you, and you go back to being Cheeto, it will still be you too. Yeah. It's true. Yeah, my content won't really be any different. It's just kind of like a model change, a name change, a model change, but it's still me. Yeah. Okay. But I think I'm running out of energy to yap for much longer. It's been a lot of yapping in the last few days. I'm taking tomorrow off, so I'll have like a chance to rest and stuff. I am taking tomorrow off, right? Wait, let me double check my schedule. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, I'm taking tomorrow off. Okay. For some reason, I forgot Friday exists, and I thought I had tomorrow off, and then the next day. No, I forgot Thursday exists. I thought it was like, oh, I have tomorrow off, and then it goes into Friday, and then I was like, wait a minute, I don't think I scheduled 2 days off in a row, because I have Friday off. Wait a minute, I forgot that Thursday is a thing. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I have tomorrow off, and then, we are playing Thief Sim on Thursday. Yeah. And then I gave myself the days off both before and after the fundraiser because that's going to be a 10-hour event. And I want to try my best to have as much energy for that as I can. Yeah. I know 10-hour streams happen commonly for me, but it's a little harder to do it on demand. it usually comes from me just getting super caught up in a game that I really like, or like I have a specific goal that I'm really aiming for. Which I guess I do have a goal that I'm aiming for with this one, but it feels like video games kind of give you that extra distraction, so try to make sure that I have as much energy as I can. I forget Thursday exists all the time too. Yeah, sorry Thursday, it's just kind of forgettable, you know. But yeah, thank you for the yabba, Rebby. Looking forward to your fundraiser. Wish you the best of luck. Thank you! Well, let me go ahead and get a raid set up. I really appreciate all the support that we've gotten as well for the fundraiser. It really means a lot to me. I didn't think the response was gonna be quite this big, so it's it's a big surprise. It's a big surprise. Okay, let's see. Who is online? Who is online for a raid? Here we go. Okay, I got somebody lined up. Let me just make sure they're not about to end. First. Okay, yeah. Looks like we're good. Okay, thank you everybody for coming, listening to me yap and stuff. I will be taking tomorrow off, like I mentioned before. But then I will be streaming again on Thursday. And that'll be our last casual stream before the fundraiser. It's coming up pretty soon here. I'm very excited. Yeah, mark your calendars. Set your reminders. Don't forget about the fundraiser. I'll see you guys all there. Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.